Right, what's happening, everyone? Big shout to everyone on the channel. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about a couple of different things, right? It's going to be a couple of little multiple things, and it's going to include some of the horrible things in life, right? Now, it might affect you. It might affect someone you know closely or whatever, but you will have heard of someone who's going through it or been through it. So if that's the case and, you know, you're worried about it or whatever, then have a little listen to what's going on, because in the comment section, loads of people are going through the same thing or have been through the same thing. So it's advice, and it's good advice, you know what I mean? It's like, it's from the heart of people. It's experience. It's real experience. Now, this isn't like a sort of professional advice or anything like that. So it's not medical advice, not professional advice. It's just opinions, right? It's just, I've been through things myself. I've seen things myself. So I'm just going to share a bit of like what I know about it. And, you know, I'm not saying this is going to be for everyone, and you're not going to, you know, this is going to make you better. Listen to this. No. Yeah. If you're in pain, or, you know, someone who's going through some sort of thing like this, then seek professional medical advice. Don't put it off, because the more you put it off, the worse it's going to be. Yeah. Get on the phone, sort it for them, help them out, stand on for them, and, you know, get everyone back to the way they should be. Because what I feel like in life, when we're young and all that, and we're flying around and we're doing this, and we all think we're on one another, and then people start getting on the weed, they start getting a limo, you know, sometimes they get on the brand, they get on the popcorn, and, you know, it's just a spiral. At the time, you might think it's good, or you might think it's cool, or you might think it's, yeah, we're flying, we're making dough, we don't need to buy it because we're spinning bits to get it in, and we're doing well, we've got a little car and all that, yeah, but that's the beginning of the spiral, right? Now, what happens is, as you get older, you realise, you start to see like different things in different people, and, you know, a couple of people, Lemo, get down, go away, lads, right? So you might know people being through bad stuff. You might even know people who've done the worst thing they could possibly do, and, you know, just ended themselves, which I know people who have, and, you know, it's heavy, it's a tough pill to swallow. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk, Lemo, move, lads. Come on, lads. There's a couple of different things that you could, let's call it addictions right now. You mightn't think it's an addiction at the time, but there's a little standard saying, and what it says is that it takes 14 days to make a habit and 40 days to break a habit, right? Now, what that means, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, is, say, like, you're flying, you've got a bit of dough around you, you end up on the limo, and you're doing it every day because you've got dough around you. Yeah, well, after your dough's run out, what are you going to do then? Because you still want it. Your brain's then switched on to get it, because your brain has got power over you. Yeah, you mightn't think it has. Lads! You end up like with a bit of an addiction, or you end up being, you won't admit it, right? You won't admit it, you'll deny it, defo. You'll deny it, you'll justify it, yeah. But what you need to do is you need to admit and adapt. You need to admit and overcome. You need to get it out of your head, and you need to get out of your system, because it's not just you you're hurting, although it is physically, but mentally it's not, because it's the people around you. It's your mum, your dad, your kids if you've got kids, your bird if you've got a bird, your family, your friends, everyone around you who sees it happening, and they're trying to tell you, but you're not listening to them, because you've only got a one-track mind, because your brain just wants this release, this endorphin, it wants what it wants, do you know what I mean? And sometimes when you can get deep into it, you don't value money no more. Let's go start off with gambling, right? I know a mate there, and my mate's mate, he's a gambler, and I mean a proper heavy gambler, like ridiculous, like the worst I've ever known personally off anyone. I know there's well worse people, but this is the worst I've ever heard anyone in my life, right? Now, what happens is, the kid's going on holiday, yeah, so let's just say, for instance, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, the kid's going on holiday with his family, he's got like 5 or 6 grand saved up, he's been saving up, the family's saved up and all that, he's got a gambling problem, major addiction, but he's promised he won't, he'll do this, he'll do that, he's promised his family, they're all going on holiday and all that, and listen to how heavy this goes, right? So the kid's gone upstairs to get a shower, right, and what he's done is he's gone on Bet365. Now, on Bet365, he's ended up throwing a bet on, right, and his bet's come in. So while he's in the shower, he's gambling with the spends, what they're going on holiday with in the next couple of hours, right? So what's happened is, Lemo, stop it, lads, stop it. So he's gone like upstairs, he's in the shower, and he's got his money on Bet365. So he's threw his bet on, and his bet's come in. So he's probably bet, like, probably say a grand, and he ends up getting to 13 grand off it. He's coming lucky, yeah. So what it's done then, the addiction's kicked in, yeah, the justification and the denial's kicked in. So he's only in the shower, yeah, his family are ready to go on holiday. They're going in a couple of hours, this to spend the money, yeah. He ends up losing a lot, right? He's lost a lot because he's tried to go in and he's put bigger bets on, and, you know, it's at him, it's just tore away at him, it's just at his soul, boom, bet a lot, lost a lot. So in the space of him going upstairs to get a shower, he's just gone and spent all the family's spending money for the holiday. They're going on holiday in a couple of hours, yeah. get on that. That's one of the stories. That's the worst story. But there's little tiny other stories, such as he's gone to the shop to get milk, yeah, with like a fiver, gone to Betty's and blew it, yeah, come back with no milk and lied he's lost the money. Yeah, and now I know it's only a fiver, but it's the principle, isn't it? So imagine the respect you're losing off your bird, your family and the people around you doing shit like that. Yeah, he's gone to his mum and he's asked his mum, oh, I've got no shoes, look at my shoes, they've got holes in. What he's done is he's pulled the heel off his shoe and he's gone and asked for new shoes. So his mum's giving money for shoes, yeah. He's gone and nailed his heel back on and spent the money on gambling, yeah. So he's walking around with nails in his heels on his shoes. My first interaction and my first thing with gambling was, we were kids, we wasn't even old enough to go in the casino, but I was with my mate, and my mate used to love gambling, loved roulette and all that. So when we were kids, we used to go out and that. Now, one day, we had like 2 ton each. Now, 2 ton each when you're a kid is a lot of dough in it, you know what I mean? It's a lot of dough, because that was like, I'd never been out with 2 ton before in my life. So I'm all buzzing, yeah, we'll go out at 7 o'clock, we'll proper smash, we'll have the best night ever. He says, we come to the casino. I'm like, why? He said, because we can get in, because we know someone. Doesn't matter, we won't need ID. And so I'm like, all right, yeah, just all excited, made up and all that. Goes in there, having a laugh, doing little stupid bets and that. And I can remember there was this Chinese fella, and he was just throwing, I mean, proper cakes on just like proper smashing it, throwing out or whatever. So what I done was like, this is a bit off topic, but it's funny. So when you go into this casino, they give you free drinks. So this fella got a glass of Coke with a lemon in it, right? He hasn't touched it yet. So I've gone behind him while my mate's there, and because the fella's that tuned into betting, I've took his lemon out the glass, chewed it, and put it back in. Dirty that, innit? So this fella's now drinking this fucking Coke with chewed lemon in it. Right, and I'm thinking, how's he that unaware of what his surroundings are, what's going on? So then, my mate's being like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm like, I'm going to do that. I'm only doing little bets, like little £2 bets and that, you know, just playing the game to play for fun. Honest to God, my mate's gone missing for about half an hour. He's come back and he's like, lad, I've got no dough left. I'm like, lad, I'm up. He went, what do you mean? I'm on like 240. I've just been like, you know, because on the roulette tables, obviously the croupiers and that, they're in on it. So if you put a bet on what's going to make them win more than what people are betting, then they're going to let you win, I reckon. That's my opinion anyway. I reckon it's all fixed. It mightn't be, but I just think it is. I'm up like that. So he's like, yeah, so I said, yeah, so it tells. I said, all right, Sam. I said, yeah, we've got 240 there, right? And the 240 was in chips, right? That was the stupidest thing he's done, right? So I said to me, yeah, I said, I'm going away. He's absolutely just blazed through all my chips, right? Just absolutely killed it. Worst bet ever. I haven't got a clue what he's doing, all that. I said, sounds. So he said to me, he said, give some dough. I said, yeah. So I've passed him the dough, all of it, because we were going out. We were walking out the casino. As we were walking out the casino, he puts the 2 on black. And as it's already in mid-spin and lost it. We had no dough. We couldn't even go out. It was about 7 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening. I'm like, lads, what are you on? Oh, I was raging. We've ended up having to walk home from town when we've just had 4 ton to start with, like, less than 3 hours ago, do you know what I mean? I was fuming. I was like, lads, don't even talk to me all the way. So I'm walking in front of me, he's walking behind me, I won't even talk to him, I'm proper fuming. I just thought, you know what? There's no way I'd ever be a part of that because of that. That was my first, like, real experience with it, do you know what I mean? I was like, that is the worst thing I've ever seen. I'm like, lads, what's just happened there? And he's going, oh, lads, but if he would won. I'm like, but we never won. We can't even go out now. Yeah, I'm meant to be meeting some bird now. You've just absolutely wrecked it. I can't go home and say to my ma, give some dough, because she'd be like, you just had a 2, where's that? Oh, we threw it in the casino. She just backhanded me or something like that. Proper slippers, do you know what I mean? So that was me out of that. So that's that gone. Now, as for the gambling addiction and all that, I understand why some people do it. I understand, because it's the thrill, the chase, you get what I mean? But for me personally, that was the first experience. I'll never repeat that. Right, so let's move on to that. Right, let's move on to Lemo. Lemo is heavy, right? Lemo is, the cat keeps looking at me every time I say it. Not you, lad. So Lemo is proper heavy, right? And what happens there is you can come into it like from partying, from being in clubs. You might have older mates, you know, they've got you into it. You have a little stripe, you're flying on top of the world, like, yeah, this is the best thing ever, this thing ever. But then what happens is, if you keep doing it over time, you start getting accustomed to it. So then every time you go out, you've got to get a Lemo. Every time you have a bevy, you've got to get a Lemo. Do you get what I mean? It just comes part and parcel. It's all together. It's the same thing. You can't go out and have a bevy without getting a stripe. Do you understand what I mean? You can't have a stripe without getting a bevy. It's a proper vicious circle. Now, if you've got dough and you can moderate it, and that's up to you, for recreational, yeah, that's up to you, that's your choice. But the majority of people aren't in that position. They might be when they first started. They might be like, yeah, I'm flying, I'm doing well, I'm grafting, I'm spinning bits, yeah, and I can pay for it, yeah. But once that goes, once your income goes, right, what's next? Because you still want it. So what are you doing next? Then you're hitting people up because you've got a bit of a good credit, like with people around, like, yeah, he smashed it. So you haven't even told them that you stop doing what you're doing. So you're getting to all people, they're thinking that you're still smashing it, but you're not. So you start getting in debt with him. These are your mates, these are the people around you, these are people close around you. Your mates, your mates, your brothers, whoever will lend you it, yeah. So then what happens then is when it comes back to paying them, you've got the dough, what you've lent off someone to pay them, but then you've gone and got more. Yeah, because it's a live for now sort of thing, yeah. Your brain is telling you that we want this, I can't do it. Yeah, because it's called an addiction. Yeah, that's what you need to realise. It's called an addiction. There's nothing you can do about it. Yeah, you can't just be like, oh yeah, it sounds like you won't, because it'll just burn your soul. You're sitting there, I want it. I'll do anything to get it. Now, some people go to the extremes to get it. They'll go and rob people, or they'll mug people, or they'll do something, something proper, like ridiculous, what they never normally would have done in their life before that. And it ends up being spiral. You can either end up in jail off it, you can end up getting put to bed over it, worst case scenario. You can start bumping people, getting bail off him, then not paying them, phoning a different firm, getting bail off them. Next thing you know, all kinds of there's firms on your case, yeah. People are phoning you up, you're ignoring the phone, knocking at your house, you're ignoring you can't go nowhere, your head's gone, and all you just want more and more. So what happens then is you can hit a point which is psychosis, right? Now, psychosis is where it's just too much too quick, or your body just give up, or you've just absolutely overloaded, everything's overloaded, and what you start doing is you start doubting yourself, you start doubting people around you, you don't want to go out, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that, blah, 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 everyone's against you, the people who loved you, the people who've raised you, the people around you, your birds, everyone's a suspect, yeah, everyone's a suspect. Now, it can go two ways. They can probably go other ways, but what I know, they can go two ways. So you can be lying there in bed, absolutely psychosis up to death, right? And you can think, everyone's after me, or what's that noise? What's that? So you're sitting there, there's no telly on, everything's dead quiet, the house is proper quiet, and you're just like, yeah, you're like, in your head, you're whispering to yourself, because you don't want to make a noise in case whoever this thing is, or whatever this vibe you're getting is telling you there's danger. Now what that is that your senses have been overloaded, so you can't trust your senses no more, but because it's your mind and because your head, you do trust your senses, so you're just like, you're going with it, so you can either end up hiding under the covers, or you can end up armed to the teeth with the lights off, just sitting in the dark, mate, just waiting for something to come through the door, what's not coming through the door ever. And then you can start, if you've got a bird and your bird's gone to town, you're just like, who's she with, what's she doing, and then your mate can phone you, and as she's phoned, you're like, she must be with him for some reason, what you just would never even think. That's right. Then in your head, my mate's doing this, my mate's doing that, these are all doing this, these are all doing that, yeah, and it's not happening, you just think it is. But it's called confirmation bias, right? Confirmation bias means you'll see things that you'll put together for what your view is, even though it's not right. So you'll pick, you'll pull, you'll do this, you'll do that, you'll be like, yeah, well, you did that, you smiled at him, you done this, yeah, remember the other day when you looked at me like that, all mad shit will start spiraling through your head, and next thing, you're just an absolute mess, you're a mess, your heart's pumping, you know what, you're raging, you don't even know why you're raging, but you're raging because your senses are telling you to rage, because your body is fight or flight, your body's survival mode. So when your senses are all not judging properly, and they're reacting to things, and you can hear a noise, and your mind needs to know what that noise is. So the human body, the way it works is, if you hear something and you don't know what it is, your mind will give you options to what it is. So then, because you're in that mode, you'll pick what option you want it to be, or the worst case scenario, just to ensure self-preservation, do you know what I mean? So you're like, no way, it must be someone outside. So then you're at the window, you've got blades everywhere, you've got all kinds stashed, you're an absolute liability, mate, to yourself and people around you. Yeah, it can go two ways. Number one, you can end up doing something proper heavy to someone in the house, or number two, you can do something proper heavy to yourself, right? Because you're trusting your senses, because you've never had no reason not to trust them before, but you've just sent your senses west. Your senses are just not in sync no more. Yet they're all over the place. They're not collaborating with your mind. It's bah, bah, bah. I can hear this, down the stairs, up the stairs, bum, bum, bum. Yeah, what's that? Who's that? Loft, there's someone in the loft, there's someone in the left. You're up in the loft. My head's gone, what's going on? This is a conspiracy. Everyone's just on me case. And, well, you know what I mean? Who is it? Yes, so you're finding, you're searching for answers. But the answers that you're searching for, you're just doing it yourself. You're just winding yourself up. You're putting yourself in that place. Once you get in that place, you can't get out of that place until it wears off. And normally it's a couple of hours or even the next day. So you're just stuck in this zone, mate, in this zone. Now, if you're stuck in this zone of an alternative reality, mate, anything can happen. Anything can go on. It's absolutely dangerous, yeah? It's dangerous for everyone around you and all that. So when people start seeing you like that around you, they start losing respect for you. Oh, get on him, he's a proper lemo, he's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. You know, he used to be signed by that. So they start not bothering with you no more. They start not wanting nothing to do with you. No one will lend you dough. No one will give you the time of day. No one will piss on you if you're on fire. Yeah, and then you get to a point there where you can either lose your house, you can end up on the streets, you can go from rags to riches. I'm going to tell you a story in a minute about rags to riches, right? Because this was only recently, right? And if you know the channel and you know me, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go straight into it now, right? Listen to this. When I was younger, right, I never had the pots of pissing. I didn't know where I was going in life. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I didn't want to work. I didn't want to go to work and work. Now, that's ridiculous. It's selfish. Call it what you want. It's not the right path. It's the wrong path. But it's just how I was. It's just the way I thought. So one day I'm out in this club and I was only young, right? And I bumped into this firm. Now, what I did was I only went out with like 40 quid. I never had no money. I was a boff. I was a meth. I never had no money. I was lending tenants. I couldn't stay in. I wanted to go out. I wasn't on a limo. I wasn't a bevy. I was nothing. I just loved clubs. I loved music. I loved wanting to go out. So I had this little plan in my head that thought, here's what I'll do. I'll go and buy 20 little fellas off him for 20 quid, right? And then I've got 20 quid, but my mates all had cars, because the lads who I hung around with when I was younger, they were older than me, do you know what I mean? They weren't grafters, they were just normal lads. So we're in cars, and I'm like, yeah, so I don't have to pay a taxi to there. So I've got 20 quid, and I've got 20 little fellas. So at the time, a little fella was like, you could get a £5 each or 3 for a tenner on them, but you're only paying £1 for them, do you know what I mean? So you can make dough on it like that, yeah. So that's basically where it all started. So going to clubs with me mates, getting the car bump, paying a £5, and you've got 15 quid left. Bevies were like 2 quid at the time, so you've got a little bit of time. So then what you do is just spin a little fella, So in this club, what I'm not going to mention, but you all know it, right? It was, let's just say it was an Aintree. There, enough said, it was an Aintree. So it was a big club at the time, it was banging, it was live on City FM, bam, ba, 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 bam, ba, bam, ba, yeah, you're flying, captivated, let's go, coming in, yeah, flying. I've seen this firm, and this firm, they were like, older fellas, they were all juiced up, they had all beards around them, they had all big bracelets, choppers on, and I was thinking, you know what, they look heavy then, and they were sitting in like where you have a scram, where no one was sitting to have a scram, so I'm thinking, why are they there? So next thing, one of them comes over to me, just randomly, totally randomly, anyone got any little fellas? I'm like, yeah, me. So he says, yeah, I come over here, so I'm thinking, I'm going to get robbed here, and if I do, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm like, wow, front it, goes over, he's like, how much, mate? I said, 5, he took 3 for the tenner. So he just looked at me weird, and it was like as if, I don't know, I just took it upon myself to think to myself, he's just roaring off me there because I'm doing this. So I said to me, he said, yeah, mate, I said, yeah, I don't even want the dough, I needed the dough, I wanted the dough, but someone just told me not to take the dough off him because I just felt like a proper meth, right? Now, what that led to is about an hour later, I'm standing in this fella, should have seen the size of him, all scars on him, just like this big juice head, proper flying, older than me, like the generation above me, do you know what I mean? Comes over and he puts his arms around me, he said, you got any more of them? I've just gone white, I said, no, I've got none, I've got no dough. I had dough, me sock, what of that, but it was not much, so I'm thinking, I'm just going to get robbed here. So I've been like, I've got none. He's like, lad, he said, what are you on about? I said, lad, I've got none. He said, you've got no money? He said, no. He said, yeah, get over with us. So I'm thinking, what's happening? I only said he had no dough because I didn't want to get robbed. So he's going, yeah, lad, do you want a bevy? Sounds, and honest to God, I ended up just chilling with them, and they were proper sound. I never even paid for another bevy. And in the end, I'm like, yeah, lads, I've got, yeah. So I'm giving them all. So I've given them all the little fellas I had, and just trying to like give something back to the back. So he's like, oh, lad, yeah, where are you from? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, your son said, yeah, do you want to come to a party with us? And I was like, yeah, why not? He said, who you with? I said, I'm with these. He said, you vouch for them? I went, what do you mean? He said, you're going to vouch for them? I said, I thought, that sounds a bit serious. What's he on about? I said, what do you mean, lad? He says, are your mates? I went, yeah. He went, all right, sound. Oh my God, listen, this changed me right now. This fella was important. He was an important figure in my life, right? Because I looked up to him eventually, not now, but this is only when I first met him. Goes back to this gaff, right? And I mean, when I say this gaff, I'm talking a 4-story townhouse, right? I mean, absolute belter. It never even has a front garden with a gate around it. It has its own land. Yeah, you drove in through the gate and went to the house. It was just, it just looked like a community to me. I was like, lad, what? There was cars, there was VR6s, there was 5s, I was just like, what? The gaff was proper boss, you should have seen it. I mean, boss, he comes to me, yeah, lad, all these birds there, all these birds are older, they're all just like, what's that? And I'm like, well, my head's gone. I'm proper like, you know what I mean? I'm like, only just, like, I was impressed, like, heavily, because I never had none of that, like, growing up. We weren't bossing growing up, but it weren't like that. That was another level, do you know what I mean? So I'm watching and I'm thinking, I want to be like that. Straight away, boom, switched on it, boom, I want to be like that. So what happens is that the fellas end up being proper Sammy and all that. He said, how old are you? You know what I mean? He says, all right. He said, well, listen, lads, when you get to a certain age, like, you know, back then, people weren't like that. They weren't just like, oh, yeah, this is, that is, that, no matter how old they are. Now people will give like 15-year-olds pieces and dough and say, go and put him to bed. It was a different world back then. People weren't like that back then, do you know what I mean? You had to sort of have be a certain age before anyone would bother with you. And I'm not even joking now. You know yourself. That's the truth back then. So I'm like, oh, so I'm thinking, I've got a year to go. And in my head, I thought, sound, that means, and he's going to me, listen, lad, you know, sound. So he's giving me a phone, right? He's giving me a phone. He says to me, have you got a phone? I mean, yeah, I've pulled the worst phone out ever. And he's just been like, yeah, lad, yeah. So he's just opened this drawer, took this phone out and went, yeah, you can have that. And I'm like, what? It was a belter. At the time, it was like one of the proper top phones at the time. And I was just like, what do you mean? I'm thinking, what do you know? No one's ever given me nothing like that. Obviously, me mad, I've had friends, but no one like that has ever given me nothing like that. Yeah, just there you go. So my head fell off and I'm just like proper impressed and I'm just like, no way. So he's giving me this phone. He said, yeah. So I've just threw my phone in the bin. I've got this new phone. I'm just, no matter what, even if I never see these kids again, I am proper buzzing because I've got this phone. I was just made up. Nothing else matters. I was made up. So over the next couple of days now, he phones me. He's like, what are you up to? And I'm thinking, no, what's happening? He said, yeah, do you want to come for a scan? I haven't got a penny. He's like, shut up, you divvy, don't worry about it. So I'm in cars, I'm in brand new cars, going for scrans, what I've never have even been able to afford before. No, like proper flying now. I'm drinking champagne with them. Never even tasted champagne in my life, ever. Never even tasted it. Sitting there swigging champagne off and all that. So when I've got to a certain age, it's been about a year and a half, I'm proper tight with this firm, right? The proper sound and all that. Everything's proper sound. Nothing weird, nothing fucking messed up like that. It was just, they just took a liking to me because of my personality. Because I was straight up and I was like, said what I wanted and, you know, wasn't like, you know, wasn't a bell end, had respect, no proper sound. So they were all right with me. It was sound being an army. Now, in their firm, there was an age range and some of them were just a little bit older than me. You know, he had a big firm, there was loads of them. So I ended up vibing with everyone. So they started bending me onto stuff and that. So he showed me everything. He showed me how to bunny up, showed me how to smash, showed me how to wash up. He showed me everything, do you know what I mean? So I'm like, listen, can I have this? Can I have that? He's like, yeah. So I'm starting to make little contacts, like boom, getting that. So at this time now I'm flying. I'm just like proper smashing it. And this kid, right, who I'm going to tell you this story about now, this kid now is who I looked up to right now. I'm not going to sound like a bellend, like, but I did look up to him. Right, like proper looked up to him. He done everything for me. He was proper soundest fella ever. They were all like proper heads. No one would say nothing to me because they knew I was with them. Do you know what I mean? So I started getting a little bit big for me boots. And like I've said before, it takes you a few years to realise from thinking you're on one to knowing you're not on one. When you start going from the pond into the ocean, do you get what I mean? If you're like big in the ponds and then you jump into an ocean, you're an absolute goldfish. You're no one. Yeah, so you jump and you're trying to get bigger, you're trying to do this, that. You've got dough around you, dough means nothing to you no more, nothing means anything to you, you're off your band, you're flying around, you're going to clubs, you're in cars, boom, there's birds everywhere, everyone's saying that, you're floating with these kids who are in £1,000,000 houses, you're just absolutely killing life, you're killing it, right? So what happens is, I hadn't seen this kid this is only recently, this is only the other day, right? Now, this fella has been like a big part of my life. I've looked up to him for, I mean like 20 years, do you know what I mean? Even as a fully grown man, I looked up to him because I remembered everything he's done for me. And you've got to remember, like I've said before also, the people who you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way back down. So if you start shouting your mouth off, thinking you're this, thinking you're that, it's going to come back on you heavy. But I weren't like that and I'm still not like that. I've got respect for everyone. I'm sound with everyone. I'll give everyone respect until they don't deserve it. And if they don't deserve it and they cross the line, then, you know, it is what it is. You do what anyone else would do. You can't have that, you know, not because you think you're someone, just because it's your own pride and whatever. You can't sleep at night with a red face. You'd rather have a black eye than a red face, you get what I mean? So, it's all vibe. Now, I'm going to like cut a few years out now and just get to the point. Oh, get on this. So, the other day, I haven't seen my mate. This is my mate who I'm talking about. I haven't seen him for about 2 years because he's moved out the way and he's been up the wall. He's been putting me off when I'm trying to, and not like putting me off, but putting me off. Do you get what I mean? So I never clicked. I never realised. I didn't know what was going on. So I hadn't seen him for a few years now. What's happened is he's phoned me up 2 days ago and said to me, do you want to come and stay in mine? I'm like, yeah, Sam, what's happening? You know, but over the last 2 years, I've been like, how's the kids? What are you doing? Are you flying? He's like, I've got this car, I've got this. And I'm just like, yeah, just laughing it all up, because why wouldn't he? He wouldn't lie to me. He's got no reason to lie to me. You know, I trust him with my life. Do you get what I mean? Whatever he says to me, I believe him, because I've got no reason not to. My whole 20 years of knowing him has given me that trust in him, where I believe that whatever he says, he wouldn't lie. There's no reason to lie. So he said to me, yeah, what's your postcode and all that? So I'm like, yeah, so I'm thinking that's about 3 hours away. So I've got all the best clobber on. I'm, you know, trying to impress. I've got brand new car. I'm flying down the area. And as I get to the area, I'm thinking, I'm only like 2 miles away and this is looking rough. But I thought it must be like an estate in the middle of nowhere where it's going to be like all big multi-million-pound houses and blah, 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 yeah. Wow, get on this. So I get into this street, and this street is a proper bombsy. It looked like, have you seen Blackpool? Have you seen the arse end of Blackpool? Like, it just looked like that. So I'm thinking, so I thought, this can't be right. So I phoned up, I'm like, what's your postcode? He told me. I said, what's your street? He told me. And I'm thinking, I'm in that street now. So I go to the number of the house where it was, yeah. And I am not messing with you right now. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not trying to disrespect no one. I know people live to the means, and I know not everyone's what they're doing. People work hard and they can afford, they can live to the means. But I had expectations of this fella. I had expectations of him. There's a dirty cooker outside in the front garden. There's all like overgrown front garden. There's like mattress. And I'm just thinking, he must be somewhere. He must be like in his mate, or he must be somewhere or something, or this isn't right. Knocked on the door, honest to God, right? He opened the door, and the kid didn't even look like him. Yeah, here's what he looked like. Burst bubbles on his 110s, beans or food or something on his t-shirt, yeah. Skinny, fat bellend who's like stopped being on the juice and then just gone fat and hasn't done nothing, yeah. His pecs looked like 2 Johnnies, half full, hanging out a bra. I was just like, lad, he looked like he had a fucking sheep's haircut. And I'm like, what the fuck's happened there, lad? He's like, what do you mean? That was the first thing he said. He went, yeah, I come in, I've walked in the house now, listen to me. If you live in a 2 up, 2 down terraced house, that's no problem, it's sound. But you've got to keep it clean at least, haven't you? You know, you've got to keep it clean, you've got to be house proud. Lad, I walked in the house, and it was like one of them gaffs where you wake up in the morning at a party, and there's like a stray cat licking your knees, and then, you know, you're on the couch stinks, and, you know, you lift the cushion up, and there's like all Connect 4 pieces, and, you know what I mean? Just boffy Ken, like dummies, and just, you know, just a proper boff Ken. So my head's gone, and I'm thinking, no way. Now, I got dressed up, not like dressed up to, well, it did. In fact, I got dressed up to impress him. I had all like proper clobber on. I had like 15-ton jeans on. No, you know what I mean? He's like, sit down. I'm like, lad, I wouldn't even sit on that couch. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, lad, what's going on? I was half raging. Now I've calmed down after a few days. I've realised it was selfish of me like that, but he shattered my whole childhood. He shattered my teenage years. I looked up to this kid. This kid was who I looked up to. Now, he used to be in a £1.2 million house, driving around in underground cars. Yeah, I said to him, and he went to me, do you want a drink? Now, I'm thinking, I bet this glass is dirty. It's well worse. When he used to say to me, do you want a drink? He'd pass me a bottle of champagne and a big fat line of flake and be like, crack on, lad. I'd be like, yeah, you know what I mean? The kid opened the fridge, right? As I've looked behind me in the fridge, there's half an egg. I don't even know how there's half an egg. I don't know whether it's being boiled, chopped in half and left for later. I don't even know what's going on. Lad, you've got half an egg in the fridge, no milk. What's going on? He passes me a bottle of white lemonade, yeah? There's a 37p price tag on it. I'm not saying that that's bad or not, but lad, he's opened the top, swagging and passed me. I said to him, lad, I will pour that all over you if you ever disrespect me again like that. What are you on about? I said, we're not camping. What are you doing? And he's like, oh, lad, and I'm like, what? I was meant to be staying there. I had stuff to stay there. I come down with a nuggle. What's happened? What's going on here? It was just proper overload. My head was gone, and I'm half raging. Said to him, what's going on? He says, oh, I've got a bit of a habit. I said, let me see your arms. So there's no marks. I'm like, what do you mean you've got a bit of an habit? He's like, off the limo. I'm like, you've always been on the limo. What do you mean you've always been on the limo? I said, you told me, you learnt me, you showed me what not to do. Lads, I was raging. You put me on it. You told me not to do it. You told me I'd lose everything. And you're doing it. Where's your bird? She's left me. What do you mean she's left you? Where's the kids? They've gone with her. Lads, I've been talking to you for 2 years. When this happens? Years ago. You've been blagging me for 2 years, lads. I was proper. I was heartbroken, but I was fuming, and I just felt like just going bang, you just pulling him out. Right now, for me to look at him and want to put him out, it was like something come over me, right? And now as I've calmed down, like I said last day, I've realised that I shouldn't have been like that with him. I shouldn't have been like that with him because I've put myself first before him when I shouldn't have. So I said to him, lads, have you got online banking? He went, yeah. I said, let me see your bank. He went, what? I said, show me your bank account now. Yeah, the kid had 47 quid in his bank. I'm like, how have you got 47 pounds in your bank? Mate, I was proper. There was adrenaline going through me. I'm like, lad, you had a 1.2 million pounds house. Lad, you had 100 grand cars. How have you got... lads, what's going on? My head was gone. I said, I need a piss. Where's the toilet? Went upstairs. I've opened the bathroom door. Yeah, it smelled like the ones in Walton. I'm like, lads, what's going on here? I've looked in. There's like a little three-piece bathroom pink set out of B&M, all minty down the edges. The bath. I was like, lads, you get a bath in that? He's like, yeah. I'm like, lads, I wouldn't even have a piss in that bath. What are you on about? The shower curtain all mouldy. It fucking stunk. The gaff was proper hanging. I'm like, lads, I'm not even having a piss in this house. I said, I'm getting off. I said, you know what? I said, come with me now. He went, what? I said, come with me now. You know what you mean? He said, lad, just leave whatever they are. Just bring the clothes on your back. Come and stay in mine. Lad, I'll buy you all new clothes and we'll just sort it out. And he went, no. He said, but you know what you can do for me? And what he went, do you fancy leaving me an 8? See that silence? That was my whole world, my whole views and my whole, like, respect and just admiration and everything I had for him was gone. It was just gone. It was just like that. Like someone turned the lights off, right? And my head was gone and I was just like, no way. I just can't believe it. So I've been like, lad, I'm getting off. You know, he's like, why? I said, lad, you come with me or not? He's like, no. I walked out and went, that's a nice car. And I said, lad, the fact you're telling me that that's a nice car, lad, what are you on about? That shouldn't be nothing to you. That shouldn't be nothing to you. Yeah, you should be telling me to go and get a better car. Yeah, and like I sound like a kid and all that, but the kid in me did come out because this fella done a lot for me. He done a lot for me, and he won't accept me help. He's arguing with me. He's denying it. And I'm like, lads, I said, look at the state of the way you're living, mate. I said, look at the state. I said, lads, I feel like knocking you out. And he never even replied. And he's looked away from me. I'm like, lad, you flapped off me. How have you flapped off me, lads? And he's just like backing off. I'm like, lads, what's going on? You shouldn't be flapping off me. It should be me flapping off you, lads. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, all my life I've thought I wouldn't like to have it with him, or I would, not that I would, or like, but you know, just in your head, like, yeah, he's one fella that you wouldn't mess with, you. And now I'm like, lads, I would absolutely just smack you that hard, right? You'd have no taste in your mouth for months, mate. My head was gone off it. He just looked small and minuscule and pathetic. He looked pathetic to me, yeah. And it was the horriblest thing ever. It was the worst feeling I've ever had. It was like he died. It was a different person. It was like he died, yeah. I was just like, lad, look at the state of you, mate. Look at the state of your gaff. Lad, your gaff stinks. There's flies everywhere, lad. There's bin bags everywhere. Lad, get your shit together now. Get with me now. Walk away from this life, because this life is going to end up with you on a rope. Yeah, lad, I don't want to be looking at you on a rope in a month from now. He's like, nah, I'm sad. I'm like, lad, you're not sad. You're not sad. And I've proper give it to him, not fighting wise, but I mean, my mouth, I've got a bit of a vicious tongue if I want one and someone deserves it. I have proper, just give it to him, proper heavy, and I mean, leathered him, proper leathered him, where like, lads, I can't even believe you're taking that leathering, yeah. I'd rather him knock me clean out, or try to knock me clean out, or at least through a dig, or try to choke me, something, do something, lads. Do something, hit me, do something, lads. I've never wanted someone to hit me as much in my life. Do something. No, flapping. His legs are going, he's got adrenaline. I'm just like, I said, lad, I'm getting off. I said, lad, there's me hand, there's me heart. I said, lad, honest to God, I said, you need to get a grip of yourself. I said, you have just absolutely turned my world upside down. I said, you cheeky bastard. You're who told me. You're the one who put me on it. You're the one who guided me. You, lad, you made me. I'm not saying I'm anyone because I'm not. I'm not saying no our case because I'm not. But you made me who I am today. Yeah, and now I'm looking at you like this. Lad, listen to me, lads. What the fuck's I mate? And you know what? I held it together. I'm not even going to lie, right? I'm starting to get all emotional now. I can feel the story, the vibe, because it's coming back to me. I was fucking devastated. I was devastated, mate. So I've got back in my car. I've drove away, right? And I swear to God, there was just tears coming down my face. I wasn't crying, but I couldn't stop it. And I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, pull yourself together. I'm wiping my face, right? I'm driving down the road trying to wipe my face, you know what I mean? And I'm just like, what the fuck's happening here? I wasn't like sobbing like a little girl, but I couldn't hold these tears back. They were just flowing. And I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck's happening? Yeah, so I've ended up coming home and all that, and I've walked in right now. I'm not saying to anyone, just please believe me when I say this to you. I'm not saying I've smashed it. I'm not, but as soon as I walked in my house, right, it just, my whole life appreciated. I appreciated everything, right? And I think sometimes we forget that, don't we? Sometimes we forget that we should be happy with what we've got, because there's a saying, right? And the saying is, right, if I give you £50 billion now, would you take it? Yeah. Would you take it if you didn't wake up tomorrow? No. Why? Because tomorrow's worth more than £50 billion, isn't it? Yeah. So when you're sitting there and you're in a hole and, you know, you've got psychosis and all this and all that, he lured me down there, right? He lured me down there to get Lemo off me. Do you understand how heartbreaking that is for me? Yeah, I've just drove 3 hours to go and see one of me fucking idols, mate, and he's lured me down here to ask me for an Enny on bail. Wow, wow. So this kid's gone from a multi-millionaire to absolute £47 in his bank. Yeah, how have you lost all that? How have you made them decisions when you taught me not to make them decisions, right? So that was me head gone off that. So I was just proper wounded, and I mean proper wounded off it. You know what? I'm going to have to leave it there, you know. I'll catch you up with you another time, because my head's gone. I shouldn't have done this subject, but I just got brought into it. This was supposed to be the last subject on purpose, so it is what it is, do you know what I mean? Just bear with me on this one, because I can't be arsed with it, I can't be arsed. I'm going to start going into it, I'm going to start being horrible, I'm going to start disrespecting people and all that, but it's not right. So let's just, I don't mean anyone who's listening, I mean, I can't tell my mate what he's like now. Do you understand? I've got to keep this to myself, because if I start telling my mate what he's like now, it's going to make a show of him. So when I talk about him now in Liverpool, everyone's like, yeah, they've got this impression of him. I can't start saying to them, now get on this, and so I can't even speak to no one. Right now I can speak to you, because I'm not naming no names. No one will know what I'm on about, because I know a few people who've smashed it, and everyone knows that I know a few people who've smashed it, so it could really be anyone. Do you get what I mean? So I'm not disrespecting them. It's just, I'm trying to show people, and I don't mean learn them or I'm anyone or not like that, but we all make mistakes, but I'm just trying to sway one person. If I can sway someone from, you know, putting your head in a bowl of limo to going to nothing, to lending money off your man, or robbing off pieces of PayPal, or whatever, yeah, listen to me now, it's going to spiral out of control, right? And you know, before you know, it's gripped you, and you don't even see it coming, and one day you just wake up, and you don't even want to wake up, yeah, you don't even want to get out of bed, everything's just dark, it's gloomy, it's horrible, you don't want to bother with no one, yeah, and then, worst case scenario, right now, I know loads of people will know what I'm saying now, worst case scenario, you make that decision, you make that terrible decision, and that's it, you're gone.